Welcome, everybody, to the final cast. And it's not always the final cast when we're out on the water, but there's always got to be a time when you got to come back home and watch the show, sit back, relax, and enjoy because we're bringing in two different worlds from LinkedIn and also social media platforms. And we're going to have a little bit of fun tonight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the final cast. All right. Well, I would like to introduce everybody to Miss Stephanie. So, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about who you are and who you work for a little bit.
Thanks for having me. My name is Stephanie Vatalaro. I work for the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation. We're an interesting organization. We're a nonprofit that actually receives a government grant to kind of be the industry's marketing and communications arm. We're out there trying to get newcomers to take up fishing and boating and teach them how to be, someone who's going to take care of the environment.
Fantastic. So, tell us a little bit about how long you've kind of been there, and let's make a transition into kind of like what you're doing right now for a little bit of fun.
Sure. I've been there almost 18 years, which is kind of crazy to say, but right now I'm the Senior Vice President of Strategy and Operations. And basically I work with our board and our senior leadership to set the strategy for the organization. And then I work with the teams, the department leads, to ensure that we are meeting our goals and functioning on it efficiently and getting the work done.
Good. So tell us a little bit about what you like to do for fun a little bit.
What I like to do I like being on the water,
which that's a necessity, right?
Boating, fishing, all the things. Oh gosh, I don't know. We have a lot of fun things we do here as a family. We cook, we dance, we like to go to wineries and hang out.
Cool. So you like to, when you're not stressing out about researching anything, you like to sit back and relax and kind of just have a good time with the fam.
Absolutely.
Awesome. The reason why I am bringing Stephanie on to our end of the world in social media and kayak industry, because I read an article a while back ago. Wow, I want to say it's almost about a month now. We've been trying to link up, LinkedIn, linked up.
LinkedIn.
But you had this amazing point of view about the kayak. I'm not saying kayak, the fishing stores and local fishing shops that I would love for you to share with our audience and just talk a little bit about the research and development that went into that, and then also how you came to the conclusion about the kayak, the fishing stores.
Yeah. So RBFF historically and traditionally has worked on recruiting newcomers into fishing and boating. And so we're focusing not necessarily in places where fishing and boating already exist, but we're going out to like total newbies, have never done it before, right? And we provide that basic how-to information and where-to information. But we do a report every year called the Special Report on Fishing. It's conducted with the Outdoor Foundation. It shows participation trends. And that newcomer trend has been really good for the last 10 years. But when you start digging in a little deeper and you're looking at that lost participant, someone who falls out of it for whatever reason every year, that's been really significantly increasing over the last 5 to 7 years. We used to hover around 5-6 million a year. It's upwards of 12, 14 million now.
Wow.
So yeah, a huge increase. And there's not the data doesn't show one key reason. When people take a survey, most people say, oh, it's time. I don't have time. But I kind of think of that as a big excuse kind of answer, because you make time for the things that you love, right?
Yep. So
we started looking more at retention and what's going to get people to stick with it. What's going to keep them coming back and having more adventures out on the water. And a couple points of research I cited in that. One was on the pandemic participants. We saw a huge uptick that year. I don't think you'd be surprised to hear that. Nobody had anything else to do, so we went outside and they gave fishing a try. We did a study on the pandemic participants to say, hey, to keep you with this, what do you need? And it was often we need guidance on where to go, how to do this. local clubs, community, people I can go fishing with. And then in another piece of research that we're right in the middle of it right now, it's like a 4-phase research project to better understand, we're calling the psychology of churn. What's going through people's heads when they lapse out? We're seeing a lot of the same themes. It's local. Fishing is so local, right? The species are local. The tackle is local. I mean, there's some generalizations, but people need a place they can go where they can not only get their equipment and have someone help them get the right stuff. They need guidance on where they can go and what they can catch and what to do with it, you know. And we're all going online these days to shop, which is great and convenient and helpful. But if you're new to fishing, it's not that helpful because it's not helping you with that local aspect, right? So we see a tremendous opportunity with the local fishing retailer to serve that purpose. You know, I grew up in the Florida Keys. I grew up going to tackle shops, and that's where all the fishermen are standing there and talking about their day and where they caught this and where they caught that. And, you know, I'm generalizing. It's probably not the same everywhere, but I don't know. We just think that it's such a huge opportunity to connect people with that local resource. And then we can connect the retailers with either a local club or a state agency, you know, to help with training and whatnot. It could be a really magical partnership. Well, we can make it work.
You said it best, because like, if you think about it, if somebody from Wisconsin is going to go down to the Florida Keys, you're going to tap into the local resources to figure out how to fish down there. I mean, it's just like going anywhere else. If I was in Florida and I'm going to California, I'm not going to fish the same way that I do in Florida and California. There might, like you said, there might be similarities, but there's something special about that area for a reason. Right. And when anglers come into this industry, we all basically just jump right into the internet really fast, and we try to figure out as much as we can. And there is a ton of information that is useful.
Absolutely.
But the local level, like you said, is where you get that more customizable, I want to say, resource for the areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing we found in that pandemic participant research, which I think I mentioned in the post as well, was that people who didn't grow up fishing or don't know a lot about it, if they're going to go online and they're going to shop in the places they already know. They're going to go to Amazon. They're going to go to Walmart or maybe Dick's, which has some fishing stuff, right? But it's not the same. It's not the same. And I did an informal poll of all my friends on Facebook. I was like, no cheating, fishing friends. Like, where would you go shopping if you had no idea where to start? And it was all the same, you know, it was online and it was big box, you know. So what if you get the equipment and you don't know how to set it up and something breaks and like then you have a bad experience and you're like, what am I doing? I'm going to go do something else.
Well, the turnover is going to be very quick because you're going to give up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
When Stephanie and her company kind of really dive into this, they really do a great job of dissecting and putting out a lot of information. And if you get the opportunity, you can go to we had a refresh moment. It's okay. It happens all the time. It happens all the time, right? But yeah, so you have these. Her and her company has this opportunity to give out so much information to individuals, and you really do a great job of focusing on, like, you take an article and you really focus on it. So, like, for instance, females in fishing, and then the tackle shops, and you have a lot of other articles out there. Give everybody a little bit about some of the other things you talk about besides the tackle shop. Let's talk a little bit about female in fishing and everything else. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We're actually running our national campaign right now. So you may have heard of Take Me Fishing. That's our national brand that we use to engage with people to get them interested. And it's always been we want them to become aware of it. We want them to trial it, and we want them to be successful and keep going. Last year, well, let me back up a second. we've always kind of focused on the family with young children.
Right.
There's a lot of research. We use a lot of research to guide our decisions. We know that like kids alone, if they go to like a derby, even if they're given a fishing rod, they may not go again if the parents aren't involved. And we know that it needs to be at least 3 times of going and having success before it starts to build a hobby, right?
Right.
So, where was I going with that?
Well, the family, go 3 times. That's when it's going to be.
Oh, the target audience, right? Okay. Yeah. So this year, we saw an opportunity to engage more women in fishing. A couple of big national consumer statistics popped out at us. Number one, women make the majority of major consumer spending decisions.
Right.
They're also the family activity planners. And number 3, like this one blew my mind. Moms are fishing with the kids more than dad. So they're often the teacher.
Huh. I had never even thought about that.
So we're like, okay, we need to get more women involved. Also, women come into fishing at a very high rate, but they drop out at a much faster rate than men too. Okay. And a lot of that is because they don't see themselves in the activity. Like literally, when they're opening up a magazine or walking into a tackle shop, they don't feel like they belong, right?
Okay.
So we're trying to change that with our campaign. And we did extensive research to inform that, to help understand what it was that gives women who fish. And it's really incredible study that shows, women who fish versus those who don't have more grit, perseverance, self-confidence, better perceived health, all these amazing things that we all want. So we built the campaign around that, and it's resonating really well. And we did see an uptick in women and girls fishing this year. So
when I'm going to go back to like just the it's amazing how you me being a guy, we portray everything as like the guy's the one that's always out there fishing, because you always see the ads. The guy's out there fishing with their son, they're teaching them how to fish and stuff like that. But I never would have thought about like how that role is actually more reversed, and the women are the one teaching it. And then if they're not having, just like you said, if they're not having a success rate, they're going to drop out really fast. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a weird shift in what you're actually seeing and portraying in media than what is actually out there and what's actually happening.
Yeah, or if they're not seeing themselves. And so, for example, our campaign this past year, we were in unexpected places. We were in Vogue, Vanity Fair, Essence. I mean, wow. Forbes magazine. We were really trying to get in front of women who, wanted these things out of life, the grit, the perseverance, the self-confidence, but we're not anglers. So
wow. That is just remarkable. Wow. I when I sit back and I read your articles, that's when I become more enlightened on a lot of the other side of things. Like, I'm used to being in this industry, working, doing this stuff, and then kind of forgetting that there's a whole nother untouched part of this market. And that's also the females and young anglers, like children, like getting them involved, getting them there. And there's tons of organizations that are trying to do that, like get that involvement in there. But I've never seen it where you lay it out very nicely in your articles. Like, boom, it's like, this is how this is like affecting the female mindset, how it's affecting the female culture coming into the industry. And there's a lot of ladies that are trying to break that in this industry and to get in there. And we see it in the kayaking side. We're starting to see it more in some of the boating side, and some of they're coming up through the ranks through like grassroots bass fishing and boats and stuff like that. But like, just to hear coming from yourself about how this is like, because you're right, a lot of the females do make a lot of financial major decisions. They're the ones that plan your vacations, your trips, and everything else. Most of the time, the guy's not doing that. Like, I'm a guy, I'll admit that. I'll throw us under the bus, gentlemen. We're doing it wrong. We're doing it wrong. We need to hop in on this planning thing, and be more a part and be all inclusive and getting the whole family out there. I know that like when I take my wife and my kids with me, I have a blast with them. Yes, you do want to throw them in the water, but
Yeah.
it's like it's part of the whole teaching and teaching patients and guiding them through the process.
Right.
You have a few other articles out there that I want to share with the anglers that I'm trying to kick back over to the LinkedIn page. Excuse me,
Yeah, sure.
I'm cheating over on the other
You're
side.
cheating. No problem.
You have the empowering women
Mhm.
in fishing and making it your first and your best self. I love that. That article was a really good one. Finding their best self, and then welcome to the water is just the overall, like just getting women out on the water, like just welcoming them. Hey, there's many other aspects besides fishing. Maybe you want to get into the boating side, or you want to get into jet skiing, or canoeing, kayaking, paddle boarding is always fun. I like that one too.
Yeah.
But your most recent one, the one that was out in trade only today about the psychology of churn. This is unique. I want you guys to listen from Stephanie about the psychology of churn.
So I talked about it real briefly. I mentioned it earlier. When we started to really dig into those numbers of lost anglers, we had a planning session with our board of directors, and like we need to understand this better because we have all these surveys that say the number one issue is time. And well, I kind of already said that's a BS answer. Sorry, but it is. We need to dig into that. And so working with this global research agency called Ipsos, it was a 4-phase project where we, number one, went out and talked to lapsed anglers to get their overall impressions and why they left. We did a comprehensive survey, and they have this I don't know, they do this magic in the background, right? They have this behavioral science data they throw it up against, but what the product is, and I literally just got this link in my email inbox yesterday, so it's not off the press yet, but coming soon. They're creating personas, and what that is essentially we will be able to tell the industry this type of person, let's say Sharon, age 20 to 30, with 2 kids under the age of 10. Here's how she experiences it. Here's why she left. And here's how you can message her to get her back. So we will have a number of different personas that we can tell the industry, like, here's how you need to be talking to people to get them to come back to your store, to come back to your business, to get them back out on the water. It's been almost a year since we launched it. It's been a pretty expensive project, and we've had some of the industry has put money into it, thankfully, to help us get it done. But we're hoping, it'll be hugely impactful for folks who do run businesses to help them increase those retention rates.
Well, I would think because of the amount of research and detail that you all put into this, that the industry definitely wouldn't turn a blind eye to it. Like it needs to be like right here first and foremost and out there.
So the other piece of it that's kind of happening at the same time, and I don't have a data point that shows this correlation, but our country's changing, right? Our demographics are changing quickly, rapidly. Our kindergartners are the most diverse they've ever been. And when you look at the activity and who's participating, it's not very diverse. It's improving. It's been getting better over the last 5-10 years, but it's nowhere near like where we are as a U.S. population. So we work really hard to do that, the representation, and show people that they do belong in it. I think one of the things we hear a lot from industry is they want to just keep selling to their existing customers. Sell more to the existing customers. We haven't hit that tipping point yet. It's coming.
Really? Nah.
But where those folks are going to stop buying.
Yeah.
And if we don't fill that funnel, I mean, that's a good business practice, right? We got to fill the funnel with those newcomers. Then we'll all be in trouble. So we're there to do the research and get the insights and get them out to the industry to help everyone.
I like the the funnel idea. Exactly. I mean, you still, as a business, you want to be able to funnel it down to where you have new people coming in, and you just kind of keep that kind of rotating and going. And then, like you said it, where just those personas, that's just like the coolest thing ever to get that involved in the churn, because that is going to be like, for instance, what do I need to do to reach out to individuals and to those that are out there in the industry or wanting to get into the industry? How do I do that? How do I do it better? What's the one thing that I can take away pretty much from all the articles that I kind of need to do? And that's one reason why I really like LinkedIn, because you guys get to share that stuff to us and enjoy. If anybody doesn't have a LinkedIn account, go out and get one, and take me and Stephanie and put us on your friends list, because you get tons of information from another resource that isn't exactly inside the industry. It's an entity outside of it. So it's pulling all this other information, and that's only going to make you a better person and also a better angler, I think, at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of good stuff for sure.
So do me a favor. I'm going to bring this up real quick. It's actually the website. Let's see here. Let me remember how to do this real quick.
I saw it go by earlier.
Well, I threw the website out there so everybody can see it. If you go to takemefishing.org, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And this is the website that you can go to, and they have done a good job of just getting the information out of who they are, what they do. They've got a massive resource room in there, resource center, and then also the newsroom is where they're kind of releasing all these like tidbits and different things that's going on in the industry, and also in the same things that they're finding in their research. There's a lot in there that can help you. Also, tell us a little bit more about what you got going on the website.
Sure. Well, this is actually the corporate part of our website, which has all the resources. If you were to go to takemefishing.org and scroll to the bottom, you would click on the RBFF logo. That would take you right here.
Right here.
Yep, that's Take Me Fishing. So this
is
the
I took you the wrong one.
That's okay. That's the consumer-facing side where new anglers can get information on how to get started. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom and click on RBFF, which is where you were.
Sorry, I'm not scrolling too fast for you all. You all can see some of the other things that they have in here. I apologize. I went really fast. They have a ton of blog resources you can go to. A lot of people contribute to the takemefishing.org website. There's a lot of anglers, a lot of media special individuals that are here. And so we're going down to the bottom.
Corporate. That's it. RBFF.
There we go.
So that's the foundation side of things.
Hold on a second. It froze. Forgive me. Because I changed the screen. That's what happened.
I can still talk about it.
It's what I do. I mess things up sometimes. Hold on. Oh, no. I'm pretty good at it sometimes. There we go. Here we go. I'm getting there. It got stuck. Here we go. Now we're back. Okay.
Now we're back. Great. Yeah, I mean, it goes through the who we are, what we do, talks about our board of directors and whatnot. But probably the most useful section for the industry is the resource center in the newsroom. The resource center just has a ton of different marketing materials, imagery. Research is there first because it's one of our most popular sections. Webinars and workshops that we hold. This is all the stuff that we've put together over the years to help the industry do a better job engaging with customers.
I love it because you've also got, you've really broken it down a little bit. So like if somebody's Hispanic, you can help them with the resources there to help teach them how to do it. You have a retention toolkit, which that's key right there. Like you go and you click on that, you're gonna learn how to keep some individuals involved in it.
Yeah, and we'll need to update that with the new psychology of churn research.
There you go.
You're giving me an assignment here.
It's all right. It's all right. You're seeing it and you're going, oh, I remember what I needed to do now. You have the content you can use is a resource to where you have a site map that has a whole bunch of things in there for educational purposes, whether it is, I think it's stores and educational videos. Is that correct?
There's all kind of stuff in there. Two of the main resources though are we have two website plugins. One is a buyer license. So like anyone could take this little piece of code, put it on their website, and when someone comes, they just choose their state and it goes straight to the state agency fishing license page.
Awesome.
Because we all know it can be difficult to navigate those websites sometimes.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a great resource right there.
The other website plugin is for places to fish and boat. And you can drill down locally.
That's
so those
cool.
are two of the big resources there. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, all of their blogs that they have, those are great. Those are great just to like go through, read, and watch, and do different things there. That's cool. You were also a part of ICAST last year, where you got to talk about the fishing industry there too.
I did. Typically, we have a presence. We sponsor the industry breakfast, but then we do some lunch and learns, which are really great. If you're there, you should check them out. They're on the show floor. You don't have to leave and go to the other side of the building. Grab a snack, come on in, sit down, and learn something.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, I would assume you're going to be back again this year, correct?
Yes.
So I look forward to seeing Stephanie for the first time in person, not only on camera, and also learning more about, because you guys have a really great booth there. It's all about education and getting everybody the information they need to be a part of takemefishing.org, and then also what you guys have to offer for the research and development side.
I think we had our first catch center there last year, our mobile first catch center.
Yeah.
Right next to the lunch and learn. And hopefully we'll be in the same spot. Bright and colorful. You can't miss it. It's teal.
It's teal. It's right there. You cannot miss it. It's there. I'm really excited to see you, and I'm really excited to see where this research takes our industry to the next phase of what we need, because retention and getting those new anglers is key to every aspect of our industry, whether it's a new angler in tournament fishing, just getting them to the stores, or just getting them involved in the outdoors. There's a massive turnaround for the lack of success. And I think there's individuals like myself and other individuals in this industry that could step up and really help teach and be the door that opens up for other anglers to be involved. And I want to thank you very much for all your time and effort that you and the company puts in to deliver I would almost say almost on an everyday basis, the type of quality of research that you guys pop out there, what you guys do for the industry. And I thank you just for opening up my eyes a little bit on some of these things, because as a male in this industry, we kind of get a little blindsided about everything else that's kind of going on. And it's just that, hey, you get in your lane and you get stuck sometimes, you know? But to help understand more about what's going on in the industry, and this is a great resource. Stephanie is an amazing resource. If you're on LinkedIn, go over, like her, then you can go over and like the organization at the same time and just learn. I mean, we always need to be learning, right? And the only way we're going to get better is if we go out there and we actually open up something and read it. And this is going to help us as an individual and also as a community just get better. And I'm going to ask you a hard question. I'm going to do an ad read real quick. I'm going to ask you a hard question after this. You might be able to answer that. And then I got another question that just popped up here. So I'm going to do a quick ad read. I'm going to give you a break to get a drink, and then I'll be right back with you.
Sounds good.
All right. Everybody knows that, hey, you know what? I'm a clean freak. Yes, I am. I'm a clean freak. But are you an outdoor junkie, a runner? Do you travel to far off places and do different things? Maybe you're a gym rat and you just like to be a dirt magnet. You know what? If you go to cleanfreak.com, clean with a K, and order their body wipes, you're going to be super clean. These things are amazing. They are 100% biodegradable. They have witch hazel in them that contains aloe. They're alcohol free, and they smell amazing. So if you actually want to feel like you got clean after being on the water and getting all that fish slime on you, hit Clean Freak. You can buy these in little individual packages. You can get them in a overall 12 wipe pack. Coolest thing that they've had over the past year is now they have flushables. Yes, I said it, flushables. All right. Oops, upside down. All right. This one happens to be the Georgia peach. And make sure you go out and you grab yourself some Clean Freaks. Keep yourself and your body clean, because you know what? Everybody doesn't want to be stuck in that sticky situation. So go out and hit cleanfreak.com and get clean today. All right, Miss Stephanie, we got you back. Now I'm going to ask you, it might not be a hard question for you, but for me, it's going to be a hard question because, like, as an individual in this industry, what should I do as somebody that's kind of like a social media person, pumping out content and doing things? What can I do as an individual to help move this along?
You can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. You can have guests on your podcast who are doing cool things to diversify fishing, who are doing things to advance the activity, to have that representation piece and hear those stories. Those two things would be great.
So you heard it. If anybody else is out there doing a podcast, I got 2 of them actually sitting here watching right now that actually work with me. You know, all you have to do is get out, get those really good guests, get them out there. Somebody that's being innovative. Oh, look at that. He gave me a thumbs up. Being innovative, doing something different in the industry, kind of like not always doing the same old thing over and over again, but somebody that's actually innovating and helping create. And then at the same time, just talk about it over and over and over again. Let's get this information out here. Is there, as a social media person, and some of the other people in this show are watching right now, are one takeaway that we should do personally? Like, I know for a fact, if I don't stay educated and I don't read the things that you guys have pumping out there, I'm not going to know what's going on. So besides resources that you guys have to offer, what do you suggest to some of the other individuals in the industry that they can do a little bit to learn?
Just introduce new people to the activity, show them the fun, show them the joys of being out on the water. Honestly, it's one of those activities, if you didn't grow up doing it, and there's just so many perceived barriers. They're not even real barriers, they're perceived barriers. People think you have to invest all this money and, you know, drive 2 hours and spend your whole day. Like, we all know, like, that's you can do that.
You totally can.
You don't have to. It can be simple and fun. And if those of us who are in the position of, you know, having a boat, having the fishing gear, having access, would all introduce some newcomers, we'd be in a better place.
Yeah, we would. And because of the way the world's changing, we are losing some of our seasoned anglers, our really good teachers, our really good individuals that are moving on and either leaving the industry, moving on with life, and not doing their hiring, which they're allowed to do. You know, we definitely want to make sure we offer them and we become those teachers to move forward.
Yeah. And remind
Stephanie,
people,
I thank you very much for being here. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks down there. We will definitely go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, and I always like to remind people, and you can remind people, that when they buy their fishing license, when they buy fishing
Did we
equipment,
lose her? I hope not.
All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Sorry.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, we're going in and out on signal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, no. We're losing her. Hold on. Let's see if we can get her. All right. I have no clue what happened, but we are back. That was absolutely weird. Everybody had to look at Stephanie for a minute, so I apologize.
Oh, it's just sitting there.
Sorry. It completely went off the rails. Sometimes we love technology. It's what happens.
Oh yeah, I gotta love
Do me a favor and repeat your last statement. I apologize.
No problem. I just always like to remind people as I'm closing that, because not everyone knows this, when you buy a fishing license, when you buy fishing equipment and put fuel in your boat, you're contributing to the conservation projects that the state agencies do to keep our waterways healthy and clean. They're repairing docks, they're stocking them with fish, they're doing all those great things. So, and in fact, for a fishing license, it's 100% of the funds go towards that.
Wow. I actually did not know that. I thought it was just going to some random thing. Now it's actually going to help everything. So when you go to when you go to the area, like for those who are going to ICAST for the week and you're going to go down fishing, make sure you get your fishing license.
Get your Florida fishing license. It'll help make the fishing better.
Well, again, thank you so much. I'm sorry for the technical difficulty, but I
No worries.
appreciate you coming on and being the face and the voice of my new reason of making sure I get information out to individuals. So again, thank you for coming over from the LinkedIn world and joining us.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you at ICAST. Now we're going to have you back again at ICAST because we have a booth that we're going to have and set up there. So you'll be able to talk a little bit about some of your excursions and things you have going on at ICAST. But
that sounds amazing.
Thank you very much for coming on board, and I look forward to seeing you again. Everybody, thank you.
Thank you.
So if you want to get information, you want to go to that, make sure you go to takemefishing.org to get your fishing license and also to get any other individuals involved and just be the voice that starts the new obsession that we call the love of fishing, and get out there and do that. When you do that, obviously, when you get your licenses, just like Stephanie said, it does help with the conservation efforts. It all goes into creating better waterways and at the same time stocking fish in areas that we need. And that's pretty much throughout the country. So make sure you always purchase those licenses to help conservation efforts in your area. When you're out on the water, enjoy yourselves. Thank you again for Stephanie for joining us on the show. We look forward to seeing what everybody is doing over the next couple of weeks. As we talked about a little bit ago, myself and some of the team is going to be at ICAST again. So we're going to be giving tons of information out there and helping you with whatever new products, gadgets. Maybe you want to see a particular person. Hit me up in the notes and comments and let me know, hey, I would like to see you talk to so-and-so. We'll see if we can get them out on the show and we'll get them there to be a part of it. So thank you very much again for joining the show. Enjoy yourselves. Make sure when you get out on the water, you make that phone call and tell them it is your final cast, but we all know it is not. Enjoy your weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again in a week.